Anyway, I'm going to start with one that I do a lot. Really, I do it a lot. It's about my favourite artist, and I wouldn't normally do it because I did it the other day or something, but a couple of things have happened this week that makes me think that I should do it. Number one, I saw an exhibition of her work at the Hayward yesterday. She's got Anna Mendieta, by the way. She's really excellent. Well worth checking out. So yeah, I saw that and it sort of inspired me to do the poem again and to buy lots of books on her for too much money. And the other thing was that I noticed that her husband, who the poem's also about, has a bit of work exhibited in First Sight at the moment. So we did a performance art piece in there the other day, impromptu one, highlighting both him and her, which was nice. There are some photos online, and there might be a video which Adam filmed some stuff. He's making a face, but we'll see. Anyway, this is a lot of rambling. You can tell that I've cut a poem out because now I have to fill in the gaps. Anyway, yeah. So this poem is called Blood Signs and Body Tracks. You always said you had a devil inside, that it squirmed a sticky mess of blood and bone, that it was waiting to come out, that it chanted loudly, and at night you could hear it in the intake of breaths. I'm not willing. I'm not willing. I'm not willing. You searched to find its release in the white rooms of galleries, in the shape of liberation and the freedom of your body as a form of expression. You're a woman, covered in cold blue ice, laying by the waterline, waiting to be washed away, or for your curves to slowly melt back into the sand and the sea, or grainy, colour Super 8 footage of a marble white figure floating near the breaking water, being swallowed by the tide. You were sinking slowly to your knees, in a gallery dressed in white to match the walls, whilst your hands left blood-red streaks, marking the path to where you eventually knelt. You were curved, naked and exposed in long grass next to a curled-up skeleton, and you may have appeared weak then, but you were strong when carved in stone, still retaining the curves of a woman in the jagged, rough rock, strong enough to be the person who stood tied to a table in her own apartment, with her bare back half showing blood smears on her thighs in harsh lighting, who'd let an audience come to view her there so we wouldn't forget the less fortunate. You taught me how to be powerful when you showed us your vulnerability. Whereas he was bricks, in a white room piled like a low wall which somehow kept out everyone. He was concrete poetry, which created a tumbleweed or zigzag or paper slash of words, and I'm not willing, and I'm not willing, and I'm not willing, and two gunmetal grey sheets shaped like a cross, which he called his personal structure. And you loved him, but always felt he was comprised of too many hard lines and sharp corners, but you loved him, like the chessboard he once made, which, when you played, standing face to face in opposite spaces, he started on the steel squares, whereas if you stayed still for too long, the ones you stood on soon took the mould of your footprints. You should have moved quicker, but you loved him. He always said that you're at your most beautiful when viewed from behind sheets of glass, because those sheets contorted your body, your breasts, deformed his personal structure. He was a large coiled spring, waiting with the potential energy of a hurricane, or jagged edges and rectangle blocks of cold blue concrete that he said were to lament the children. And in a personal space, did he lament you when he watched your body smash into the all-night shop, behind which were rectangles of adverts for face creams and Coca-Cola, a modern mosaic of red, orange and blue flashing lights when you lay there, having fallen 34 floors down from where you should have been, your body sunk, bleeding, a deep red silhouette? Did he lament you then? You'd almost preempted it, and you dug holes in the mud shaped like a woman with splattered blood red around where her stomach should have lain. So they blamed him and acquitted him, ignored the scratches on his body and his face, discrepancies between his stories, because the time it takes to call 911 and the time it takes to formulate a proper response to police questioning make for very different listening. But he was one man's word, all chessboard moves and low brick walls they couldn't penetrate. They could not find him in the blood signs and body tracks which once made up your person, because he was the devil inside of you, though you did not know it. And now you only burn and photographs the female form, and you loved him, whilst he still builds bricks into low walls, and you loved him. But under the concrete, you've dug the shape of your body into the foundations which whisper, I'm not willing, and you loved him. 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 I'm not willing, but you loved him. Oh, this one's mean. No, it's not mean. It's not really. It has a dedication. It's to a boy called Samuel Harris. Oh, Sammy. Sam. And what happens is occasionally someone will post something online which I think is despicable, and I'll call them up on it, and people tend to think that's quite funny because, look at the woman talk. And so, yeah, what happens is occasionally sometimes then they'll be talking about me when they have nothing better to do, and they'll sort of post something on the internet, and I'll stumble across it and go, oh, look, dick bags. And that's what this is in relation to. So it's to Sam Harris, who found it hugely funny to threaten to touch me because I'm a feminist, which is hilarious, I think we can all admit. So this is called We Sleep, and it's my reply to him. For a minute, I find myself standing on top of an ash heap, a silhouette in the leaden grey light, surveying miles of rotting skin and swirling dust, inhaling shards of feather-like bone whilst fragments of cotton dresses are blown before my eyes. Ooh. From between my toes, I pick out lumps of once beautiful jewellery, wipe them clean of cloying, charred flesh, and calculate their value in this new and changed landscape. I tread a path, woven from long, thin strands of golden hair, which now is briar-matted and dirt-filled, under the weight of boot tracks and heavily trodden centuries. All seems silent, so, at first, I think I am alone. Until above me, the thunder starts to roll, and I hear the oncoming marching of the lightning struck, and dead they are coming. Those who hold bodies were electrified with life, who once started revolutions at home with the sharpening of a pen, who were first pulled red raw and naked into this world like any other, but then punched typewriter keys to Technicolor, screamed loud enough to wake generations from their slumber and built armies from the words no. They are coming, those who are beaten back at every turn and still press on, whose skin was shaved and bodies shamed, and whose candlelit vigils cast the shadows of those gone, those who were bled out, long before my first breath by monster, created not from the dark, but from a history that has made us second class and did not ask our permission to take our bodies. We could not fill with need in his greedy claws, and so monster split us from sex to ribcage, only to find that our stopped lungs in soil laced with blood look just the same as his. But they are coming. All those who once drew breath to scream again are rising with their battle scars and punches, bodies singing electric beneath me in the pulsating ash of this barren land. And slowly ash gives way to fire, and it burns higher inside of me until we rewire the humming current of the universe to sing our song, and the world marches to the rhythm of our feet or our fists or our words, or maybe just helps us find a place that we can all exist. And we may not be there yet, but damn it, we are coming.